The hard plastic spoons in prison can be sharp down on the other end, and he was supposed to have been seen with a spoon in his hand. And the other inmates were making stories up saying he was eating his brains, so he got the nickname Spoons and Hannibal the Cannibal. But he went into the office with the dagger in his hand and he said to the screws, "They'll be too short for roll call tonight." So obviously the screws went to check it out and seen that there was two less for roll call getting caught off the wings in body bags, two less bacons in the prisons and on the streets. So in total, that was Maudsley's 4 victims. But as you can imagine, the prison service didn't want this to be happening again, so they had Maudsley down as no contact with any other human being. So they put him inside of a cage in the underground of HMP Wakefield, which is the CSU. Now, there is multiple online articles stating that Robert Maudsley is in a glass cage in the underground of HMP Wakefield. Well, this is actually false, because I have actually had interactions with people who have actually seen him in the CSU, people that have been in there, and there was an ex-screw sent us an email and told us all about the conditions that Bob is living in. He is in a cell in the CSU where he isn't allowed any other interactions with anybody else. He can't go out on association. He is allowed out on exercise, as you can imagine. He still gets his exercise, but he can't have contact with any other humans inside of HMP Wakefield. The only interactions that he does have is when he's talking to other lads who are out on the exercise yard, because his cell is facing the exercise yard, so he does have interactions talking out of the windows. But for 41 years, he has been kept inside that cell so that he does not commit any more murders. But he has gone on to talk about life inside of that cell for 41 years and said it is absolute torture the way they've got him in there, these living conditions, that he's not allowed any contact. After all these years, he should be allowed some form of contact. He is only a threat to bacons and beasts. He did go on to say if they wouldn't give him access or exercise with other inmates or association with other people or put him back on a normal location wing, you might as well give me a cyanide capsule so he can end it, because that's how stark and depraved his life is at the moment, or for the past 41 years, stuck in solitary confinement with no other human contact whatsoever. But Bob did receive a life sentence without the possibility of parole, meaning he will never be released from prison. But he's now 71-year-old, and he can die knowing that he has the name on my channel as King of the Bacon Bashers. Sir Robert Maudsley, your name will not go in vain. And I'm assuming everybody watching this can take a little bit of humour out of it when I'm coming on like this. But on a serious note, he has suffered for what he's done, but he has had a horrible, miserable life from the day he was born. He was mistreated, negatively brought up by, well, you wouldn't even call it brought up, dragged up by disgusting parents and abused by his own father in the most wicked ways. So you couldn't, or you don't wonder at it how he ended up like this, living this nightmare of a life that he's lived and inflicting his own justice on other sick, depraved bacons.